morning. Today is Tuesday morning and I'm gonna try to do one more recipe of the linguiça bread, but this time I'm using my own linguiça I made my chourico. It's not linguiça, this is chourico. So in here I have 6 cups of flour, I have 1 teaspoon of salt, and then I have my yeast. But some of this yeast, I always keep some yeast, part of it, I keep it in a Tupperware in my refrigerator. So it kind of fermented throughout the time, and it kind of gives a different taste to the bread. It's kind of like what my mom used to do. We used to call it crescent. So in here I'm gonna put my salt, and then I'm gonna I already took some out of the yeast and put in a Tupperware, so I'm gonna use all this. And we know the yeast is good, it's all bubbly. Okay, and then in here I have 3.5 cups of water. I'm gonna see, I don't think I'll use all of it. I might need more, sometimes it depends the flour and depends the weather too. If the weather is humid, you don't need as much flour. But if the weather is kind of dry, then you might not need it all. So I'm just gonna mix it with my hand. I do everything by hand. I don't like to use bread machines. I might need even more. Because I don't like to work the dough too much. It makes the dough tough, and you don't get that fluffy bread. So before, I remember my mom doing it. She would make the bread. She would do this with leftover bread that she wanted to do it, and it was not something we just went and did it, so, you know, for a meal or whenever she made bread. She would once in a while make the linguiça bread. I'm gonna mix some of the linguiça in the bread versus topping the bread with the linguiça. I'm gonna need some more water because it must be very dry today. It's gonna be hot today. 1 minute. I'd probably put about, I had 3.5 cups there. Probably put 4 cups. And I made this bread before, but I used linguiça, American linguiça, and I didn't care for it. It didn't give me that taste that I remembered. See, you just mixed all the dough. There's people who have a way of, oh, you gotta mix the dough in a certain way. I don't. I just want all the flour, all the ingredients incorporated, and that's it. I don't put nothing else into my bread. I want kind of a rustic bread. That's why I'm doing this. So I'll show you what it looks. Doesn't look like much, but I'm gonna let it rest for, see, kind of looks just like a bowl of dough for now. I'm gonna let it rest for 15 minutes, and then I'll come back, and then I'll give another hand, and we'll see the difference. You can start pulling the bread. So 15 minutes, I'll be back. I'm back. Let's see how this is coming up. Still looks like not very much. See, look like a mess, but we're gonna stretch this, and by flipping, kind of stretching the gluten, and then it becomes something more like bread. Could have used a different bowl so it wouldn't be so high, but I think you get the idea. and the more you pull, the more you pull in that gluten. So what I think I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put some, not all of it, but some of the chourico in. And I'm gonna flip. See? And I'm gonna flip and put that chourico in the bread. We'll see how it comes out. I've never done this. But I just want all that flavor in every piece of bite. And a little bit more. I love this lower counter because I'm short and this makes it easy to do this. I didn't want to make a bunch of bread because that means I would eat it. Let me show you now. Can barely see the bread. So now I'm gonna let this stay here for another 15 minutes and I'll check and then I'll show you when we come back. Here we go. Here's this after a couple hours. I checked 30 minutes and it was just right. So now I'm gonna put it in the pans and I'm gonna use cornmeal flour to put it in the bottom, and that kind of makes it kind of a rustic, gives a rustic look. Corn, and I'm just gonna pick and shape it into, remove this, shape it into whatever sizes of breads you want. I'm gonna make them into like little logs, but I need to, before I do that, I need to kind of spread a little bit more. I'm gonna put the rest of the chourico. Press it down, good. Okay. And you roll it. And you put the seam down. Okay. I think this should give me at least 6 little loaves like that. And I do this kind of just together, stretch a little bit the dough. That's why I bring it all together like this. It kind of just brings a little bit of that gluten from the bread. Stretch it. Some more of this. Okay, that's 2. I'll make a little bit more in here. This bread is so good. Okay, more chourico. Tuck it in. I'll put this one here. That's 3. think with some people use all-purpose flour. I like to use the cornbread because it kind of leaves like that crusty bread on top. And I like that taste. And it looks good. Let's see. A little bit more. Turn it in like a little roll. Tuck it. And you might want to pinch some if you want to make sure they're secured. 2 more. This is how my mom used to make the regular bread. She used to cook bread once a week, every Friday. We'd cook probably about 40-50 pounds of bread, and it would last the whole week. One of these are kind of big, so. And the chouris, before I fried it, I took the casing, so there's no casing in this, so I don't have nothing chewy. Last one. Okay, all the rest and all that fat rendered. Oh, this one's gonna be the best. Has all that lot of fat. Okay, and here you have it. 3 more. And now I'm gonna cover them and let them sit and let them rest for about 30 minutes. And then I bake them at 350 for probably about 40 minutes. And what I do is I put a pan of water on the bottom shelf, and it creates a crusty, the top a little bit crusty. So I'm gonna let them rest for 30 minutes, and then I'll bake them, and then I'll bring it to you and show them. I'm back. Now I'm taking the last loaves out of the oven. Look at this. They look beautiful. Woo, they're too hot. Look. Woo, look at this. This is bread. This is the kind of bread I like. Rusty bread. Ha! Too hot. See, and here you have it. This one stayed with a little bit more color, which is, I like it too. And has a nice golden color all the way around. And it's crusty and soft and chewy in the middle. It is delicious. This one stayed a little bit more lighter color. So it depends how fast you get in the oven. Take it out of the oven. It took about 35 minutes to bake them. I baked them both in batches. And here I have. So now I'm gonna sit down and have a cup of tea with some bread and butter. So we'll see how it came out, because I experiment mixing all the linguiça with the dough, which I think it will turn out really good. It'll be a lot better. And if you have any questions and you want to know how to make the chorizo bread, not linguiça. I keep saying linguiça. It's a bad habit because that's what we call here, but this is chorizo bread. So just message me, comment on the bottom, and I look forward to show you another recipe next time. So enjoy your day.